Hi, I'm Greg Demetrio, President of Lorraine Gregory Corp Communications Group. I'm also a member of the Association of Fundraising Professionals here on Long Island. I'm a member of their board of directors. And 2 years ago, I had the honor of being honored as their Volunteer of the Year. Nonprofits are very close to my heart. I have many commercial customers which pay the bills, and in nonprofits, we're very fortunate to be able to take good care of them in a very economical way. So I'd like to talk a little bit about nonprofits and direct mail fundraising specifically. You know, I titled another seminar that we did, Direct Mail is Dead. Well, it's not dead. Mark Twain once said the rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated. It appeared in the paper that he died, and he was telling his cousin, no, not true. Same thing about direct mail, not true. Many people want it to die, but it's not going to happen. It's too hard a worker. It's too big a workhorse. If you think of the Budweiser Clydesdales, that's direct mail in a marketing effort, in a fundraising effort. There are many ways to use direct mail as a nonprofit. You can use it for your save the dates, your event invitations, organizational news, public relations, important information, maybe an accomplishment that you guys achieved or an award you got, maybe a major grant that you received. But you can also use it for donor acquisition and donor appeals. Okay. What are the major considerations as a nonprofit when considering using direct mail? Obviously, it's cost, quality, image, effectiveness, and return on investment. Many organizations have, well, budget restrictions. That's the new normal now. We have to be real careful on how we spend our dollars. Okay? So I would suggest to you that you need to get an expert involved up front so that you can hit those benchmarks as far as cost, quality, image, and effectiveness are concerned. The ROI will take care of itself if all those steps are done correctly. Again, if it's expensive, well, why can we do it? How can we do it if it's expensive? Why should we do it if it's expensive? It's almost like I'm repeating myself over and over, whether I'm talking to businesses or I'm talking to nonprofits, because the ideas are the same. Not everybody is tech savvy. Not everybody wants or expects to hear from you electronically. Mailing is still preferred, hands down, by people in their homes. The relationships are stronger, and something that the nonprofit world has found out is that donors acquired through direct mail are easier to renew. Donors acquired online are much more difficult to incorporate into your constituency and keep them there. What are the things you should be considering as a nonprofit fundraiser? Several different things, and you have to go from the planning part to the design part to the production part to put them all together. And I like to work with a reverse timeline. In other words, when do you want this in the mail or in the homes, and work backwards from there so you don't miss your deadlines. So you need to put a plan together for timing, and in that plan you have to have production scheduling, graphic scheduling, copywriting, all those necessary things that you can hit your drop date. And especially if you have an RSVP in your piece, you have to make sure it gets to the people on time, in a timely fashion rather. Save the dates should be 8 weeks out from the date. The actual invitation should be 4 to 6 weeks out. Nothing closer than that. And you need to know that if you're going to be using nonprofit standard rate mail, it may take a bit of time to get there. It's not like first class, which is 2 to 3 days. Nonprofit mail generally can take 4 days and up. All right, so be careful with that. Make sure you leave yourself enough time to get it into people's hands and they can respond. Many times when we're doing appeals, you're doing different levels of appeals. You're going to actual donors who are part of your donor mix, who give you money on a regular basis. And you're also maybe going to lapsed donors that you haven't heard from in a couple of 3, 4 years. Okay? What I would suggest is that make your effort go up to that level. In other words, the lapsed donors should receive generic letters in closed envelopes, which are much cheaper to produce than personalized letters and closed envelopes, which would go to the donor level. So you have an opportunity to save money and make your effort equal your goal. Postage savings. You should all be nonprofit mailers. If you have not applied for a nonprofit permit with the post office, please do so today. Savings is dramatic. As we're taping this, the current rates for standard mail, commercial, is 27.8 cents a piece. The same letter, the same envelope, the same mail piece, at a nonprofit standard rate is 16.6 cents. Do the math. It's real money. It's worth doing. If you're not a nonprofit mailer, please get it done today. I just mentioned the time in the post office. If you're mailing nonprofit mail, make sure you leave enough time to transit the U.S. Postal Service. They're having their issues. It may take a day or two more than ordinarily we've seen historically, so make sure you have enough time. Make sure there's enough time for your responses to get back to you. And make sure you provide a vehicle for which the constituent can reply. Don't forget to put a reply envelope in there. I don't care whether it's a business reply mail where you pay the permit, the postage on the way back, or a courtesy reply where they put their own stamp on. I'm not sure I really have an opinion on that, but it needs to be in there in any event. People are not going to go find an envelope to send you back a check. One of the pet peeves in the direct mail part of fundraising are the database issues. Many of you are using volunteers, part-time admins, friends, relatives to do the data entry. I would suggest to you that that's all fine, well, and good, but somebody has to set the guidelines for them, because the data entry allows you the flexibility to do things after the fact. If you don't capture it correctly, you can't use it on the back end. It's the old computer saying garbage in, garbage out. If I have a database and I want to send a personalized letter and the data has not been entered correctly so I can do that, then I can't do that. You have to think ahead. Okay. You have to tell people what goes in what field. Give them rules. Mr., Mrs., Doctor goes in this field. First names only in this field. Middle initial, and on and on and on. They get all verklempt when they come down to company names. What should I do with the company? Well, teach them. Tell them. Only a company name goes in this field. Nothing else. And if they have real questions, have them put them aside and come to you, and you'll decipher it and make the decision where it goes. Always remember that you need that to be clean on the way out the back. Nowadays we do something called NCOA, National Change of Address. It's required in all pre-sorted mailings, but it's a great help to you guys, because what it does, it weeds out an awful lot of the bad addresses before it ever goes into the mail stream. So you don't pay the postage, you don't pay the production cost for that number of pieces. Okay, something that you should do before you send your work to the printer. Do the NCOA first so you know what your final amounts are. Once you've gotten that data perfect, you need to think about production. Okay, here's a place where you can really shoot yourself in the foot, and you want to avoid those situations as much as possible. First of all, design is usually where we get in trouble. Designers like to be artsy. Mail needs to be production oriented. So you have to find a marriage of art and production efficiencies in your pieces. Always involve a mailing expert if that's what we're going to do. That's the first call you should have. That person will guide your graphics person to come up with a design that achieves not only the look you're trying to achieve, but also allows the production to be cost effective. Those considerations are United States Postal Service. The book used to be this big with the rules. It's now online, so it's not a big book anymore, but it has just as many rules. And we have to hit all those marks if we're going to save you postage money, okay? So, what are we talking? Design, print, mail production, all has to be taken into account. Again, back to the nonprofit versus first class timing of mail. First class is 2 to 3 days. Nonprofit could be 4 days or more. Anytime you have a response vehicle inside your mailing, an envelope coming back to you, it needs to be compliant with automated rates of the post office. We'll save that for another conversation because it's rather technical. All I'm going to tell you is that if you do that, you get to save a couple of cents more. We talked about the difference in postage. We talked about the difference in design, letter size versus flat, too thick, too floppy, lots and lots of rules. Again, talk to your mailing expert. So with all those considerations, check before you commit to the design. Don't let your mail piece show up at the mail house and have it cost you extra postage because you didn't ask the question. So in any event, nonprofits, go out there, do your work. You can make real money using direct mail fundraising. If you stick to the course, if you have a plan, if you make a model, stick with it, and I guarantee you that it'll be a very big money maker for your organization. Go ahead and do your good work. Have a great day.